So, in part one, I ended on the note where I was talking about the bell ringer and the bell work and how students were going to work in groups to analyze the second quote and connect it to the first quote, as well as the biography and the video clip. Now, the next transition after this task is completed is a popcorn read. Now, this is the best strategy for reading a stage play, in my opinion. The play is lengthy, so it would be ideal to maybe begin with the last act, which is Act 3. Words have meaning seen. Considering that the students have, saw the video and they have the scaffolding from the biography about how Helen's life started and how she was ill as a baby and how her fever took away her vision and her hearing. So, just in case you're not familiar with what a popcorn read is, basically students volunteer to read the different character dialogue, and some students may want to read the subtext and be the narrator. Then once it reaches a certain stopping point that it's at your discretion when you stop and start, you rotate the reading and start off with another group of students. So it's bouncing back and forth, and multiple students get an opportunity to participate in the classroom read. Um, Now, today, on this day, there's an exit ticket. Now, yesterday there wasn't an exit ticket because remember the clip was played twice. So you want to make sure that you're managing the time where you can get it all in and that it'll all fit. So, the day before there was no exit ticket for time's sake, but today there's an exit ticket. And the exit ticket is a critical thinking question. What evidence from the stage play demonstrates that Helen is not intellectually disabled? Which this is just another way of setting them up for critical thinking and connecting of the quotes. Because if you remember what the first quote said, they said it could not be done, but it was. And then the next one was about how dangerous it could be to have sight but no vision. So it's all linking together, and we're scaffolding for understanding because they're going to write this essay and they need, you know, multiple what I call touches with the text. They need that chicken to be fried, baked, barbecued, broiled. So, because this is the same text and we just want to, you know, give it to them and serve it different ways. Because, as you know, kids are like, chicken again? You mean to tell me I'm tired of eating chicken? So, we're going to serve that chicken multiple ways, okay? So that's just a little tidbit about, how I look at it. So you're going to collect the exit tickets. You're going to collect the graphic organizers from earlier. And again, you're going to take it up. You're going to assess it for data. You're going to present that data the next day and talk about the grows and the glows that you notice in the student work, and you're going to highlight those different responses that really stood out to you, and you were like, "Oh, okay, yes, that's great." So moving forward, this is day 3. Now you're on day 3, and you will finally assess quantitatively, meaning you will assign a numeric grade this time through my favorite type of assessment, essay writing. I love writing. I love writing. I love writing. So, the hook for today's lesson is the video clip from Act 3. So, again, okay, so this is still chicken. We're still having chicken. But now, this is jerked chicken. So, we're jerking the chicken on day 3. Because now we've read the script from Act 3. Now we are watching it on a video. Okay? And this is also ideal if you ran out of read time yesterday. So if you ran out of read time and it took longer than you thought to get through Act 3, then, the video will fill in the gaps and give students another perspective on the story and ensure the comprehension. Because if it's not comprehended, then students are going to struggle to write that essay. So we got to make sure they are comprehending. Now, bell work and the do now is you're going to turn and talk to your neighbor about yesterday's exit ticket, which was what information did you gather from all the ways that I cooked this chicken, the video, the quotes, all these things, the biography, that supports that Helen was not intellectually disabled. They're going to talk about it. And they're going to do it in small groups. And do that discussion because students learn from other students. And they may gain a different perspective based on someone else's opinions. Then it's time for independent practice. And that is where you introduce your essay prompt. And you're going to choose between the two themes, which, are related to the two quotes. And again, I will read those to you. The quote number 1, while they were saying among themselves, it cannot be done, it was done. So you can choose to write about that quote. Number 2, the only thing worse than being blind is having sight with no vision. So, in the student's directions, how I'm going to break it down is write a 5-paragraph narrative explaining how either quote relates to your personal experience. If you choose to write about number 1, write about a time that people doubted you, that said it couldn't be done. What happened? Who said it? How long ago was it? A narrative. And then you're going to compare your experience with who? Helen Keller. The second option, if you choose, write about the importance of having goals and a purpose. What happens if people don't have goals and a purpose? What are your goals? What is your purpose? What action or steps are you taking to ensure that your goals are met? Use evidence from any one of the media sources that was provided to you. The biography, the text, the stage play, the video. Support your analysis with that information. Typically, I extend 2 class periods as mandated write days. So the first day is kind of like the rough draft, the thinking, the processing day. And the second day, they will be finalizing and getting ready to submit that final draft, because writing is a process. And if you do not provide enough time for students to be creative, they're gonna give you a bunch of it's gonna have the quality of a microwave dinner. So yeah, we're gonna think time, processing time. um and of course, students will complete the assignments at different rates. So as I mentioned in blog 10, it's always important to have a to be continued. And your to be continued is your extended learning or your project based learning activity. Ooh, and I got some good ones. Let me get through this and I'm going to tell you about it. So, after students submit a final draft, then they will choose between one of the following extended learning activities. Oh my God. Number one, flip the script. They could choose to flip the script. Imagine if Helen Keller lived in this day and age. Rewrite the story with a modern flair. Integrate cell phones and flat screen TVs and social media. Flip it. Be creative. Number two, build a 3D diorama in a shoebox of any one of the scenes from the stage play. So that's for the artistic people. Number three, act out your favorite scene. Do a reenactment of your favorite miracle worker scene. And you may do it live, or, the students can record it on their phones. Number four, the symbolism activity. So use your critical thinking skills to relate the following props to the stage play, The Miracle Worker. How does each item symbolize a concept or a main idea or a theme, that is throughout the text? These items are the doll, the key, the water pump, Annie's glasses, Helen's candy, Helen's spoon, the garden house, the water pitcher, and Helen's hairbrush. So, while some students are finishing up their essays, the others can go forward and do this enrichment or extended learning activity. I would allow 2 days for students to finish up their project. Now, if this is not enough time, then students should be aware that it may require that you do this at home or work on it outside of the classroom. I also provided the option you can work on this by yourself or you can do it in a group. The choice is yours. On these right days, I really didn't assign, do nows or exit tickets because I really wanted students to focus on organizing their ideas and the entire composition process, the writing process. Now, I have chosen the Miracle Worker as a tool to teach character education because Helen Keller lived such a rich life and she had a rough start, but despite her challenges, she was able to make a difference in the lives of so many. So, this was a great story to use, and I have never introduced the story to my students, and they have not gravitated towards it. So, I hope that you use it and it works out for you. And again, there is a teacher toolbox with the full lesson plans for you to download and print and use at your discretion. Now, I want you to come back next Sunday for my next blog number 12, and that deals with rapport killers. You don't want to be a rapport killer. So, I will see you next time.